You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, athletes across the area come together in Pittsburgh for the Special Olympics track and field competition. Also, the Carthage City Council continues to address issues within city leadership.
And we've got some shower chances this morning and continuing on later on this afternoon.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney, 7 o'clock on this fine Wednesday morning. I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. Lindsay's with us for the remainder of the week, and we're making it through the week. It's the last full week of April, so happy to have you tell us about all the rain chances that we'll be experiencing, and hopefully that'll bring some flowers for May as it happens next week.
We'll see next week. Yeah, let's see if those showers decide to pop up.
Absolutely. Well, hundreds of athletes came together yesterday as Special Olympics Kansas held its annual youth track and field at Pittsburgh State University.
KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
More than 300 athletes younger than 20 years old laced up their sneakers for the Southeast Kansas Special Olympics youth track and field events.
Every event we've had this year, and we've added several events in, has grown, and I just really think that it's the community coming together, and every experience that they have, whether it be putting a medal on an athlete or watching an athlete win a race.
Local law enforcement kicked off the events with a torch run. The organizer says the success of this event is due to community involvement.
It's really cool to see year after year the same relationships. People will see each other every year and they'll remember each other from the year prior, and it's cool to see those relationships continue to cultivate.
My brother and sister are special needs, so I've been coming to these for majority of my whole life.
That's cheating.
So you could say my whole life, but technically speaking, 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
Wesley volunteers because he wants to make an impact.
How they would feel when they would come home, the joy they would have from doing these made me want to do it, and maybe I can push out on someone to have that joy whenever they can come home and they smile.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Youth Track and Field is the largest event for the organization. Certainly a wonderful organization, and it's great to see those young athletes work towards something and have that sense of community.
Definitely that's really amazing.
Absolutely. So, rain chances, how's it looking for us,
We
Lindsay?
do start off with some showers this morning, not widespread, just one shower moving through. It's going to head towards Joplin around 8:39 a.m. this morning, but right now, still pretty nice. Outside, warming up in the upper 40s now. Clouds are starting to increase, but we still had a really gorgeous sunrise this morning. Now, winds out of the east, very light as well, and temperatures across the region getting up into the upper 40s, but look, Stockton still 36, so it's still a little chillier this morning than it was yesterday. And with these shower chances and the clouds, we may not feel as warm today as we did yesterday. So this is that shower that's moving through right now. It's making its way just past Eureka, heading towards Fredonia, Parsons, Columbus, and then making it to Joplin by about 9 a.m. this morning. Then it's going to clear out. A little bit after that, we'll have some scattered clouds here and there, a lot of breaks in the clouds right after these rain showers pass through. Then we may see some more scattered showers across the southern counties and more rain chances moving in later on this evening. Clouds increase right ahead of that. Rain comes in around 8:30, 9 p.m. tonight, and then after midnight we're going to start to see those thunderstorm chances spark up. Those will continue on for the rest of the weekend. Now I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. The Carthage, Missouri City Council last night met to discuss the next steps in an effort to remove the city administrator. Some members of the council want to hire an outside attorney to assist with the removal process. It stems from Mayor Dan Rife's belief the city policy says he has to approve the dismissal along with the council and that he will not do so. The city attorney resigned from his position 2 weeks ago and bid farewell last night in his last meeting. The bill to hire an outside attorney passed its first reading. They also approved on a first reading a measure to budget money to hire an attorney to help impeach the mayor. Both will be brought up for a second reading in a special council meeting on Monday. The city council in Baxter Springs, Kansas also met last night. They discussed plans for a sober living house The plan is controversial for some residents because of its proximity to a school and a restaurant bar. Council members determined the proposed location is not properly zoned for a sober living house and would have to be rezoned for the plan to proceed.
In this nicely, peaceably, if the interested parties in putting this in come to us and try and rezone, we'll have another hearing. As of right now, they are not in compliance, so there's a compliance process they will have to go through.
Baxter Springs City Council meets on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. Well, Crowder will have 2 new programs beginning this fall. Engineering technology is intended to train students for careers in an engineering designer or drafter. Geographic Information Systems is designed to develop skills for storing, analyzing, and visualizing geographic information, such as maps, satellite images, and demographic data. The college says both programs have high demand in the job market and can be completed relatively quickly. While citing the need to help strengthen America's allies abroad in the wake of intense wars and threats to democracy, the Senate overwhelmingly voted last night to pass a major aid package for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. Meanwhile, that bill could also spell the end to TikTok. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten has the story.
On this vote, the yeas are 79, the nays are 18.
The Senate passing a bipartisan foreign aid bill Tuesday night, approving a whopping $95.3 billion package for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan.
We tell our allies, we stand with you. We tell our adversaries, don't mess with us.
The bill's passage comes after months of setbacks in Congress, but will soon see the distribution of roughly $61 billion in military aid to Ukraine, more than $26 billion to Israel, and a little more than $8 billion to bolster security around Taiwan.
Even as Moscow, Beijing, and Tehran grew more convinced that our influence had run its course, America stepped up.
U.S. allies like Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky say that the money is coming at a critical time as his country's troops continue warding off Russia's invasion.
Ukrainians are holding the front line on their own, but now the assistance is still very limited.
But the bill also takes up the issues surrounding TikTok. Many lawmakers have warned of security risks from the social media app, citing how the Chinese government could gain access to users' data. The foreign aid bill will require TikTok's Chinese parent company to sell the app or risk having it banned in the United States. The House previously passed the bill on Saturday and now heads to President Biden's desk, where he said he will sign it into law on Wednesday. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
And those are our top stories this half hour. Coming up next, James Coover from the Wildcat Extension Office is with us this morning. He has some information on some upcoming workshops that you may find interesting.
Get ready for an off-road adventure with the
Well, welcome back. It's a Wildcat Wednesday, and we have James Coover from the Wildcat Extension District with us to share some information on some upcoming workshops. Welcome, James. Thank you for being with us today. Yes. So there's a fermentation workshop happening with the Extension Office. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yes, and so it's part of our homesteading series. And so the next one actually will be tomorrow, which will be pressure canning. That will be in Independence West Community College, and then the week after that, on May the 2nd, I believe, we'll do our fermentation workshop also at the Independence West College in Independence. Wonderful. So today I thought we would kind of play a sort of game where we try to match the food product with the fermentation method that we use to get that product in a very general aspect.
Yes, and for those of whom who might not know, they might have heard the word fermentation, they might love some of the things that involve fermentation. What specifically is fermentation?
So fermentation is using bacteria or a fungus really to create some sort of product.
Yes.
And so adding that into something, making a culture of some kind. And so like for instance, cheese, right?
Yes.
It's a fermented product. Absolutely. So out of the three here, we have acetic acid bacteria. We also have yeast fermentation, and we have lactobacillus, and so lactic acid fermentation.
So I'm putting that right in here.
That's right. Cheese.
Yes.
That's good. So some of the harder ones here. How about sauerkraut?
Sauerkraut. Okay. So I'm between these two. And I'm gonna go with this, the acetic
acid.
Yes, because it's, you know, bright and, is that correct? I don't know.
So here's some harder ones. Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm gonna put that with the sauerkraut too. It's kind of the same like flavor combination.
This one's easy, right?
This one is so easy. I'm gonna put that straight in the yeast bucket.
In the yeast. This is a good one.
Ooh.
Salami.
Ooh. You know, I am not too sure in that. I think I'm.
It's weird to think.
I think I'm gonna put this one and this one too.
But yeah. What's this? Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Did you know that chocolate was fermented?
I had no idea.
When they harvested it, it all gets fermented. Otherwise, chocolate would not be near as good.
Does it go in here? Is it milk included? I don't. I think
You're getting close.
Sugar. I think yeast. I think no.
You're not doing too bad. There are some things we've got to adjust here. Kombucha.
Kombucha, straight in the acetic one.
Yes, you were right with that one. And so you can get beer, right?
Yes.
CO2.
Yes.
Vinegar.
Vinegar, right in there.
How about soy sauce?
Soy sauce. I think I'm going to put that in the yeast. Is it not in the yeast or is it acetic as well? Is it the lactic one?
Actually, a lot of these are in the lactic.
You're joking.
Let's say chocolate.
Okay.
That's actually similar to vinegar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Meat and sauerkraut, these both go in the lactic.
I'm learning so much here right now about the foods that I love.
You see lactic, you think lactic acid, you think lactose. It's actually lactic acid. And so a lot of our stuff is made with the lactic bacteria fermentation. Same thing with yogurt, that's lactic, of course.
Yes.
Kimchi, that's also lactic.
Yes.
So our vegetables have a natural amount of it. So it's odd. We have probably a dozen different types of bacteria and funguses that we use for fermentation. It's all very different processing. And so, and of course, you know, in industry, they got to be careful with it, and we got to make sure that we're doing it correctly.
Absolutely.
So this workshop, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a lot of processing and learning how to do this stuff safely, correctly, and some fun stuff too.
Absolutely. Well, be sure to check that out. And when we come back, James will provide some insight on summer grasses.
Feels good to be home. Ashley 0% interest for 84 months. Shop now, spend less, and get more. Only at Ashley.
Oh, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Now, before the break, James was sharing about the upcoming fermentation workshop. We had a lot of fun guessing your favorite foods and, you know, where they fell into those buckets. But there will also be another workshop in June, this one on summer grasses. So talk to me a little bit about, you know, the summer grasses and the grazing school.
Yes, and so the grazing school is a two-part program. Basically, this is the second part where we're combining all this stuff together and create a good grazing plan. And so that's the idea. The first one was on cold season grasses, and this one will be on warm season grasses.
Okay,
what
yes.
I have here.
Yes.
And so, you know, we have orchard grass here. We have switchgrass, which is kind of a native sort of. This is not a good native. This is actually poverty grass, is what we call it. Broad sedge. It takes over fields that are low in fertility.
Okay.
You know, we try to find it, but it's actually a native, which is oddly enough.
How interesting.
This one is poison hemlock. And so right now is the best time to control this stuff. This is probably enough to kill multiple people. If we ate this specific thing, it's very, very poisonous.
Oh, wow.
At this point, it's actually less poisonous than when it gets older. I mean, when it gets full size.
Does it, grow, bush out, change color, anything
really
like
huge.
that? Okay.
It's very, very toxic.
Wow.
And so it's very deadly for cattle, livestock of any kind.
Yes, absolutely.
We have some red clover here, and so this is a 4 that's good for cattle. And so the idea behind the grazing workshop is combining all of this stuff together and learning how to rotate cattle properly, grazing pressures, all those things. It's a very intricate science, honestly, putting it all together. And so this will be on June the 8th at the Parsons Research Center.
June the 8th at the Parsons Research Center, and then times, things like that. And where can people go to sign up to learn more about grass and the grazing process?
Yes, and so they can come to our website, and so K-State Extension, Wildcat District.
Yes.
And so our website kind of has all those details and events lined out. That'll probably be the easiest way to get hold of us.
Absolutely. So be sure to sign up for that grazing class and the fermentation workshop as well to, expand your knowledge and learn more about the agriculture and the things that are in our area. Thank you so much, James, for being with us. And remember, the fermentation workshop will be on May 2nd and the grazing school will be on June 8th. Stick around. We'll be right back.
It's Wayside Furniture's big spring sale.
Treated like family.
We have those clouds pushing in. This is 7th and Range Line out in Joplin. We have a few elevated showers as well, right ahead of the one rain shower that'll be making it through this morning. Temperatures across the region starting to warm up, upper 40s, low 50s, Pittsburgh up to 53, Stockton now up to 41. So we are warming up again slowly but surely. Now these are the elevated showers. They're pushing it into Joplin. They're not reaching the ground, but the patches where there's heavier or darker green, that's where we're going to see the rain that's able to hit the ground. Like I said, it's not going to be heavy, very light showers pushing through right now, making it through Parsons and then towards Columbus, and then eventually making it to Joplin around 9 a.m. Clearing out shortly after that. We'll have a few clouds still sticking around, but a lot of breaks in the clouds later on early this afternoon. Then clouds start to increase and we are going to see some more rain showers moving in tonight. So planning your morning, you're up and about right now. Heavier clouds coverage if you're in that line where we're going to see that shower pass through. You may see a few showers pushing through this morning, but temperatures in the low 50s. And then when you're heading home from school or work, temperatures are warming up to the lower 70s. May feel a bit cooler with the cloud coverage and the rain showers as well, but winds are light, northeast, east winds about 5-10 miles per hour. So we do see shower chances picking up early this morning. This is about 9 a.m. That's what, we're expecting that shower to move through Joplin. Then it'll dissipate after that. We'll have a few scattered showers in those early afternoon hours. And then after 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. is when we're going to see that heavier rainfall start to move through. We're not going to expect any thunderstorms really making its way in until after midnight tonight. We do have a low risk for storms tomorrow, mostly for our Kansas and Oklahoma counties, but today very, very low risk for any type of severe weather. Mostly just going to expect some heavy rain showers tonight. But we also have an elevated risk for storms on Friday, and that covers all of our counties in our area. Let's take a look and see our future track. So this is about 9 a.m. That's when that heavier shower is moving through Joplin. And then it'll start to dissipate. We'll have breaks in the clouds. But like I said, a few scattered showers. We've got this patch moving through those southern counties as well. It's about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Then again, break in the clouds. Later on this evening, this is about 8 p.m., we see heavy rain moving into the area, maybe a thunderstorm or two embedded in that. And then as it passes Joplin, moving to those northeast counties, we have that line of storms, not severe storms, just those heavier rainfall, maybe a little thunder that's right before midnight. Those will continue. We're going to have a line of thunderstorms moving in early in the morning on Thursday as well. And main threat for severe weather still for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with that possible alert day. But at least we'll be back with more news after this.
More at visitcarthage.com.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOA Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. I'm Elise Snowy. More than 500 sixth grade students in Crawford County yesterday graduated from a youth leadership program. The Pittsburgh Area Chamber Foundation has hosted the program for 21 years now. It helps students develop leadership skills, including teamwork, communication, resolving conflict, and leading by example. The program has been instituted in every junior high school in Crawford County. Well, signing days at high schools are usually reserved for student athletes headed to college. The McDonald County High School yesterday highlights some extra signings, 5 students committing to military service. Sam Brewer is headed to the U.S. Army. Aiden Ball and William Rector committed to the Marine Corps. Stacy Lopez Alapanar will join the Navy, and Keisha Ropani is joining the Missouri Army National Guard. Also, standout running back Sam Barton committed to play football at Missouri Southern. The Carthage business is helping to make a brighter future for some local nonprofit groups. Carthage Hardware donated $20,000 worth of paint to groups that work with kids. Those groups cover nonprofit, for-profit, club, schools, you name it. The donation will also go toward historic preservation. For Carthage Hardware, the donation is all about helping the community.
For us, this is what we're about, to be a part of the community. We support the community that supports us. And Carthage is open. We're ready to do business.
Carthage Hardware has been in the city for 146 years. The North Heights neighborhood in Joplin is getting ready for its annual Music Fest. Porch Fest kicks off on October 5th this year, but applications begin this Thursday. As usual, the event will include performers, artisans, food trucks, porch hosts, and a lot of volunteers. Spots for performers, artisans, and food trucks will be limited, so sign up as soon as possible. We'll have more information at our website, koamnewsnow.com. Liberty plans a tree giveaway next month. The energy provider has teamed state and local departments for the annual May the Forest Be With You event. The event takes place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. this coming Saturday in Joplin's Wildcat Park. The event serves as a good way to help plant some trees native to the area. If you're interested, just go on over to our website, koamnewsnow.com, for more information.
Well, today we're expecting one main shower moving through the area, heading towards Joplin around 9 a.m. this morning, clearing out a few clouds in the area. Clouds start to increase as we move on later into the afternoon. Then we're going to have some heavier evening rain start to make its way in around 8 to 9 p.m. tonight. Few rumbles of thunder before midnight, but main threat for any kind of thunderstorms moving in after midnight. Then we've got a line of thunderstorms early in the morning on Thursday, coming in around 5 to 6 a.m. That's going to continue wreaking havoc on those eastern counties a little bit later in the morning. Then we're going to have another patch of rain moving through later, early in the afternoon on Thursday. But for today and tomorrow, not expecting any type of severe weather, just some thunderstorms here and there. Main threat for severe weather still Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with those possible alert days. Now back to Elise.
Tuesday was the second day of testimony in former President Trump's criminal hush money trial. A former tabloid executive took the stand explaining to jurors how he buried negative stories about Trump during the 2016 election. Paula Reed has a recap of the day in court.
Former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker back on the witness stand today, where he shared details of his decades-long friendship with Donald Trump and how he eventually used his position to help Trump in the 2016 election. Under questioning from prosecutors, Pecker described a meeting he had with Trump and his former attorney Michael Cohen in 2015, where they asked, "What can I do?" and what my magazine could do to help the campaign. Pecker testified that he responded saying, "What I would do is I would run or publish positive stories about Mr. Trump, and I would publish negative stories about his opponents. I said I would be your eyes and ears." He told the jury he saw the agreement as mutually beneficial. It would help his campaign, and it would also help me. Pecker said he began meeting with Cohen a minimum of every week, and if there was an issue, could be daily. He said he would go directly to Cohen when confronted with a negative story about Trump. The prosecution questioned Pecker in detail about a doorman who tried to sell a story about Trump allegedly fathering a child with another woman, as Trump sat in court and shook his head. Pecker said he directed the editor of the Enquirer to negotiate a number, a price, to buy the story and take it off the market. The doorman was paid $30,000 for the story, even though it later proved to be false. Pecker told the court if the story got out to another publication or another media outlet, it would have been very embarrassing to the campaign. Pecker claimed if the story were true, it would probably be the biggest sale of the National Enquirer since the death of Elvis Presley, but then admitted if it were true, he wouldn't have published the story until after the election. But before Pecker even took the stand, the proceedings began with a heated hearing on the gag order imposed on Trump in this case. The prosecution asked the judge to order Trump to remove specific posts they allege violate the gag order and fine him $1,000 for each of the alleged violations, and remind him that incarceration is an option should it be necessary. The defense attorney Todd Blanche argued that Trump did not willfully violate the gag order and claimed Trump believes reposting others' assertions or content is not a violation. But the hearing became heated at one point, with the judge telling Blanche, "You're losing all credibility with the court."
The judge didn't make a ruling regarding the gag order on Tuesday. Court is not in session on Wednesday, but the trial will resume on Thursday with more testimony from the former tabloid publisher. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. We'll learn how researchers in Michigan have a new tool to help study the Great Lakes.
Where style meets comfort. Style to your space. Come shop with us at Miss Daisy's Home and Decor and give your home the makeover it deserves.
In Consumer Watch this morning, a labor complaint reveals allegations that Boeing retaliated against two of its engineers. The two employees at the time were working on behalf of the FAA to provide manufacturing oversight. They raised concerns about Boeing's 777 and 787 aircraft. Boeing initially pushed back against redoing the work before agreeing to do it. Now a union representing Boeing engineers has filed a complaint alleging the company retaliated against the two employees in their performance reviews. Boeing said it investigated the incident, but its report could only be shared with the FAA. The Biden administration establishes a new rule that allows more salaried workers to qualify for overtime pay. The Labor Department says starting July 1st, employers will be required to pay overtime to salaried workers who make under $43,888 a year. The department says by 2025, the cap will rise to $58,656. And starting in 2027, the salary threshold will be updated every 3 years as more wage data is reported. Federal regulators ban new non-compete agreements, which could impact tens of millions of American workers. The FTC says banning the non-competes will increase worker wages and lead to new businesses. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce says it will sue to block the ruling, saying it would, quote, undermine American businesses' ability to remain competitive. The ban is set to take effect in August. In Albany, New York, an investigation is underway after two men fell victim to an online robbery scheme. The men were targeted by suspects they connected with on dating apps. Sarah Grenhofer explains ways to stay safe while looking for love.
What started with a simple swipe turned two online daters into robbery victims. Local authorities responded to two recent incidents involving unconnected suspects. In both cases, a male victim thought he was meeting with a female at a hotel, but when he arrived, he was met with multiple armed people demanding money. The suspects targeting their victims through dating apps.
You have to just remain aware that these incidents can happen anywhere. It doesn't matter how safe of a town, how small or how big. We just have to always remember that these things can happen.
Especially in a world so dependent on virtual connections.
The dating apps, there's the danger piece, a lot of the phishing scams, the money piece, but the kind of cons to it in general is just that it's become really dehumanized. You see a picture of someone and you sort of think you have this connection, but the thing we hear so often from the people that we work with is that they get ghosted a lot. They don't feel like a human.
Alternative dating services like micropolitan matchmakers have been growing in popularity.
We're really working to bring the humanity back to dating. Part of it is the safety piece. We vet all of the matches with our one-to-one matchmaking clients, but even with the folks who don't want to do matchmaking and just want to come come to events, they're meeting people in person, they're having real conversations.
If screening potential suitors through a service isn't for you, safety should stay top of mind.
I think you want to find that balance between finding a connection with a person and letting them surprise you and getting to know them more organically, but certainly, having someone, making sure people know where you are, what your date plan is, and meeting in public.
Police say it's important to verify the person you're speaking with is who they say they are by checking their other social media and having video conversations before meeting.
At the end of the day, these two incidents are proof that it doesn't matter gender, it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, how smart you think you are. You just have to remain vigilant that these things can happen to almost everybody. We just have to make sure that we take the steps prior to that to make sure we don't ever fall victim.
When online dating, it's important to remember people are not always who they say they are. And when meeting for the first time, agree on a public place to meet. And those are our top Consumer Watch stories this morning. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Dear road rivals
and companionship. Contact us to discuss your care plan today.
Well, we've got those clouds moving into the Joplin area. This is 7th and Range Line. A few elevated showers, meaning it's not going to touch the ground, just ahead of the shower that will bring a little bit of rain this morning. Temperatures across the region starting to warm up. 52 out in Pittsburgh, 54 in Chanute. We're getting up to the 50s. We see temperatures warming up to the low 70s by this afternoon. So this is that shower that's making it through this morning. A few elevated showers moving through towards Joplin right now, but the rest of the heavier rain showers still making it through Parsons. Now we are going to expect this to pass by around 9:30 a.m. and then start to dissipate after that. And then we're going to have a bit of a clearing before the next batch of clouds move in. If you're not in that area where we are getting those showers, then you're mostly just going to have some cloudy skies, temperatures in the low 50s, and very light winds as well. Now, moving into later this afternoon, clouds continue to increase, and we will see temperatures in the low 70s, but with the cloud coverage and these rain chances, we are going to see or feel these temperatures a little bit cooler than what they are. Now we've got a 40% chance of rain right now and all the way through 9 a.m. this morning. Then we're going to see it start to taper off, a little bit of a lull in between the showers that we have this morning and this evening. Then they'll kick back off around 9 p.m. tonight and some thunderstorms after midnight. So we've got a very low risk for storms today, very low in fact, and then moving into tomorrow that jumps it up one. We've got a low risk for Kansas and Oklahoma counties. Now, not expecting much until Friday. We've got that elevated risk across all of our counties. Then we're going to take a look. This is 9 a.m. That shower that's going to be passing through Joplin, and then it'll dissipate after that. We've got some breaks in the clouds, but still mostly cloudy skies. And then we'll have a few scattered showers in those southern counties, maybe a couple in the northern counties as well. Clouds continue to move in later on this afternoon. Again, another break in the clouds, another break in the rain. Then we're going to see clouds increase. By 7 p.m., we see those thunderstorms and showers pushing in. They're not thunderstorms yet, but they will become thunderstorms before they leave off the eastern counties. Then by the time it hits Parsons and Joplin, heavier rainfall. These are starting to become these thunderstorms, line of storms, and then another little patch of heavier rain, maybe thunder as well, moving through Parsons. That'll continue on and then passing just north of Joplin. We do have some more thunderstorm chances for the rest of the week. Thunderstorms return Thursday morning, early hours around 5 to 6 a.m., continue all afternoon, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, possible alert days as well. Now we'll have more details on what you can expect this weekend, on the severity and timing for those storms a little bit later on into the week, but we'll have more news after the break.
winning celebration continues.
All on Tamron Hall. Tamron Hall, this morning at 10, right here on Fox 14.
Researchers at Central Michigan University were gifted a submarine to help study the Great Lakes region.
Scientists plan to use it to study the Enbridge Line 5 pipeline in the Strait of Mackinac. Lauren Pysko reports.
People standing by it and taking pictures. It's gotten a lot of attention. I mean, it's hard to walk by that without taking a look.
If you've been inside the College of Science and Engineering at Central Michigan University this week, you've probably noticed a new maroon and gold submarine. Don Uzarski, director of the CMU Institute for Great Lakes Research, tells us the machine is fully grant funded and was bought on a whim from private sub owners.
It was kind of odd because I was contacted just out of the blue of an individual from Virginia and from Texas that said, hey, we own our own submarines and our submersibles, and we like to get together and try to help out scientists with these. And these are just guys from across the country that have submarines that their vacation 1 week out of the year is going to do research stations.
Like CMU's biological station on Beaver Island, the new home for the submersible.
So it's tight. And it's actually two-person. I got into the sub, and I spent 3 hours doing habitat surveys in the sub, and I was able to write things down and look around, and I've been scuba diving for 20 years, and this was still a whole new world.
Uzarski says this is a huge addition to CMU's biological station, and he's excited to see what new information it'll help uncover in the Great Lakes.
Not only can we stay down longer, we can travel much farther distances. The hopes are I want to get it in the water as soon as possible and start using it for data collection.
One of his primary goals will be using the sub to do regular checks on the Enbridge Line 5 pipeline in the Straits of Mackinac.
When I got in that sub for 3 hours last year, I was amazed at what I was seeing. It can immediately help in understanding the system much better through our water quality and chemistry data that she could already collect, but also helping the managers manage that ecosystem and understand it better.
Well, certainly very fascinating. The Great Lakes are pretty incredible, having just grown up, right off of Lake Superior. I've always liked the Great Lakes, so it'll be interesting to see what they find.
Pretty awesome. I've never been out there, although
you'll have to go check it out.
We'll definitely have to go check it out.
Well,
I guess we'll talk about the weather. We've got a few showers this morning, and then later on this evening, heavier rainfall comes in after nightfall, so around 8:30, 9 p.m. Maybe some rumbles of thunder, but nothing severe tonight. We do have a line of thunderstorms moving through early Thursday morning, around 5 to 6 a.m. That's going to continue on all morning. So we do have a lot of rain chances for the next 5 days, all the way through Sunday. A possible alert day for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. So main threat for severe weather this weekend, but we do still have those showers today, right now, and then continuing on later this evening. But we'll have more details on what you can expect later this week after the break, and we'll also have more news.
A four-state hero.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Carthage City Council met last night to discuss the next steps to remove the city administrator. Some members of the council want to hire an outside attorney to assist with the removal process. It stems from Mayor Dan Rives' belief the city policy says he has to approve the dismissal along with the council, and that he will not do so. The bill to hire an outside attorney passed its first reading. The city council in Baxter Springs, Kansas also met last night to discuss plans for a sober living house. The plan is controversial for some residents because of its proximity to a school and restaurant bar. Council members determined the proposed location is not properly zoned for a sober living house, and it would have to be rezoned for the plan to proceed. And Crowder will have 2 new programs beginning this fall. Engineering technology will train students as engineering designers or drafters. Geographic Information Systems teaches students the skills for storing, analyzing, and visualizing geographic information. The college says both programs have high demand in the job market and can be completed relatively quickly.
And a final check at the weather. We've got some showers pushing through early this morning. They're going to be very brief, hitting Joplin around 9 a.m. clearing not long after that. We'll have some break in the clouds, so partly cloudy day. Clouds start to increase again early afternoon ahead of a few showers in the southern counties and shower in the northern county as well. But as we move into later this evening, that's when we're going to see the heavier rain start to make its way in around 8:30 to 9 p.m. tonight. And then as we get closer to midnight, those storms start to fire up. We'll have some thunder here and there, and then another round of thunderstorms come early Thursday morning around 5 to 6 a.m.
Alrighty. Well, 6 ducklings and their mother stopped traffic as they try to walk across the busy A19 motorway in England on Monday. Video posted to X shows a Tyne tunnel, 2 employees and local police picking up the ducklings at the northbound entrance of the Tyne tunnel in Wallsend, England.
The ducklings and their mother were taken back to a nearby pond where it is believed they came from.
Cute.
Very cute. Very cute.
So cute. I love seeing the little ducklings follow their mom.
Oh yeah, I love, you know, people stopping traffic too. Like I've always been stopping traffic, find a turtle in the road, you're like pick it up, move it, you know. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Yes, we will. Have a great rest of your morning.